So now it's time for tea.
Yes, let's have a nice cup of tea. Right?
So Raoul, you know a lot about the story behind tea, what kind of an impact it has on our world. And because I already see you watching.
Yeah, that
this.
is very weird for me. I would never have a tea like this originally.
No.
Yeah, because you know this is all plastic, and people don't realize how much that means for the environment. You know, this is things that we can only throw away.
Yes, yeah.
We
People
cannot
will say,
use them.
it's just a little bit of plastic, but if you go to the factory, millions of these roll off the shelf. Like,
I mean, let me see if they write it down. But this should be 2-3 grams of tea, and imagine 1 kilo of tea, which is a simple bag like this. We produce 300 of these bags, and it's just 1 kilo. And a Dutch person will drink 1 kilo easily in just a few months.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and we don't realize how many of these bags we will throw away. And that's just one person. Now multiply by 17 million.
I noticed that at least the bag itself is paper, because that's also something that I really don't like when you have these nylon bags.
Yeah, that's also the other problem. Many companies use nylon bags because they are more resistant, and especially the people tend to squeeze the bags after they made the tea, and so they make it more resistant. But
it's odd because it's one of the things that like tea bags were always paper, and over time they turn plastic, and it's the opposite of what we usually see. Usually things were plastic and they are turning them paper, but why are they doing that? Is it just because of that, but people break the bag?
Yeah, well, it's for the resistance of the tea, but you know, many people don't know that, for example, this bag is still good to make another 3 or 4 cups of tea.
Yeah.
And many people will just throw them away. Oh, I did my tea. And
actually, when we have coffee here in the Hortus, I always try that I can share my tea bag with people.
That's a wonderful idea.
Because if, for example, 3 people share 1 tea bag, it's 2 tea bags less.
Yeah, of course.
Like a tea, I don't know, like what would the square amount of centimeters be of 1 tea bag on a tea field? It would be like a patch like this probably already.
Maybe even bigger.
Yeah.
Even bigger.
So
yes.
if like thousands of people would do that, it would save many thousands of cups each day.
Yeah, sure. I mean, 1 kilo of tea needs almost 1,000 square meter to be produced. Because what we take is just the little gems on top.
Yeah.
So even if we see a big plant, but one plant will produce maybe 30 grams, 50 grams of tea.
Yeah.
And I think about, you know, what people do at work. I keep seeing my colleagues coming and going to the kitchen, and every time is a new bag, every time is a new filter, a new waste.
Yeah.
Which
and I think people don't mean bad, but they just don't know. They're just not aware of that. And I think it's very easy to change it. Or like make a pot of tea for a couple of people. That would also be a good idea.
What I do at home, I have a tea filter, and I make the first half a liter of tea. I drink it, and then I have that hot water.
Exactly,
so I do another half a liter of tea. That's a very easy way to put it, and of course it becomes more diluted, but it's still the taste is there. And you know, when you have 3, 4, 5 cups of tea, it's good to have a little bit more diluted, and you can always put a little spoon of honey, or
of course,
a little, I don't know, a piece of peach, for example. Somebody squeeze lemon is not really my taste, but that can also improve the taste.
Yeah, exactly. But what is the biggest? Are you worried about tea culture in the world, like the amount of land that is turned into tea plantations?
Yeah, that's also a very big trouble. Many people don't think about it, but you know, nowadays the global tea production occupy 6 million hectares. And that is bigger than the Netherlands, almost twice as big as the Netherlands.
And
that's incredible, just to produce tea. And that is 10 times more than the production of oranges, and 20 times more of the, let's say if we had to produce the same amount of apple, the same weight, we will need just 20 times less field. And that is quite an impact on the wildlife. You think that you have to take off, you know, plants, rivers, you have to modify the water resources in order to have this huge plantation, but the wildlife then disappear
it's a
forever.
monoculture.
Then it disappears forever. We're talking about birds, reptiles. Think about butterfly if you want to have a more romantic vision, but also the worms in the soil, or it can be simply a mammals that we don't see. We think about, like in India, they have a problem in recreating the wildlife for for mammals, big mammals, that they have to move, of course. Sometimes we think reptile and we are afraid of them, and they said, oh, it's good if they go away, but still they have an impact on the cycle of life, because they eat an animal, and they use, they can balance the wildlife as well. So every little species matters, and not mentioning, of course, the plants.
Yes.
Only in the Netherlands we have 2,200 different plant species. And it's such a small country. Now we think about China, India.
Oh, they have a much bigger diversity of species.
The diversity is much bigger. So you think about how easy we just erase. And we don't think it's all
in Malaysia. You have the Cameron Highlands, which are very famous for their tea plantations for tourists. But when you see what was there, because at the edges of the tea plantation you still have the original forest, and it's such, there is more biodiversity in one of those forests than probably in the entire continent of Europe.
Sure. We're talking about thousands of species.
But that's just a place. But like, how about pesticides? Do they spray a lot of pesticides on tea as well, or not?
That's also another trouble, because tea is a plant, and like any other plants, we all have experience in this sense. Gets affected by parasites, bacteria, diseases, by viruses and fungi. The easiest way is to spray pesticides. Of course, it's easy, it's fast, but many people don't realize that a treatment needs to be done every 15 days because of the eggs. Because a parasite will leave the eggs. Sometimes the eggs are in the soil, so you have to wait 1 week, 10 days for the nymph to come out, and then you have to spray again.
But that's not just like even for the people that do not care about nature, there probably are some people that say like, I don't care that they spray nature.
They will all be affected.
But those pesticides are on those leaves, and those leaves are probably not washed. They are just picked and dried.
Yeah, but worse than that, all these chemicals will end up in the soil first. It will change the salinity of the soil, but it will get into the water, in the underground water. And with that system, we reach rivers, we reach lakes. So even if you don't think of it, even if you say, oh, for me it's not a problem, that is happening somewhere else in the world. So, but you will be affected by it.
But like, so you have probably biological tea, so that's probably not sprayed, at least
I hope. Of course. There are farmers that are more into a more biological production, so they tend to use...
I get worried straight away, like what kind of tea are we now... ethically sourced, so it's better for the people, but I don't see anything... It's funny that it says plastic-free tea bag wrapper. Is it this?
Well, it sounds plastic to me. Sometimes, these things are all about the amount of plastic that it contains. For sure, that is not paper. It may contain some fibers of nylon.
Yeah, there's also sometimes laws that says if it doesn't, for example, with sugar, if something contains less than like a half a gram of sugar, then you can call it sugarless.
But it's also true that many farmers consider themselves biological because they use less pesticides. So also that is an agreement with the country of production.
At least it's a little bit better.
It's a little bit better, but I wanted to say that many farmers use really a biological system. So they use other insects, for example wasps, or for example ladybugs. And they naturally eat pests,
that's
like it could be an aphid.
Also for us, when we drink the tea, that it's free of weird chemicals, of course.
And I have to say, I learned this system here in the Netherlands, because I discovered that many plant producers uses the biological way against the... And that's also because they work in a greenhouse, so it's more difficult to use chemical pesticides, because then it will make also the atmosphere a bit more dangerous for the... medewerker, for the collaborators, for the people that work there. So there are some good farmers, let's say, that use. In Japan, they are very much into biological way, but they also have to manage a more small plantation, so it's easier to manage. But they do have a system. I found it very interesting. For example, the uses of ducks. And it's funny to watch, but it's very nice. They work together with the farmer that of course produce ducks, and so they bring the ducks in the morning, they let the ducks free to walk around. The ducks will do just what those pigeons are doing. They will eat the bugs around, and they will eat the leaves that don't look very good, because that's what the ducks do in nature. And of course they will poo, they will release the natural manure,
they will use it as
fertilizer. So
probably also when a tea field is more connected to nature, because when you have like a total monoculture, we know that from the greenhouse in the back. In the past it was sort of like everything was grouped, everything was groomed, very clean, and then we had a lot of pests.
Sure.
Now we let more nature do its thing, things are mixed.
Can you recreate a balance?
Yeah. So, but for those people that still like to drink a cup of tea, I like tea,
sure.
what are the best things to do if you really want to make a difference? Because from what I understand from your story, it is very possible to make a difference, and it's important.
Definitely. Yes. Just we can make little choices and little different. We can buy loose leaves tea, and we can keep them in the porcelain container, glass jars, and we can make our own mix of tea.
Yeah.
We can use tea infusers. We can use the filter bags that are made in cotton, for example. Or we can just do like in Turkey they do straight, or in China. They put the tea straight into the water.
Yes.
Or they put the tea first. They actually put first a little bit of water to warm up the teapot.
Yeah.
Then they put the tea leaves, and then they had some more water.
Oh, okay.
So, why do we need a filter?
Yeah.
That's also already something.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I think it's I think it's good to know, because especially if we can still drink the same amount of tea, as we can drink as much tea as we want, and still limit the amount of tea that is bought or grown for us.
You
so
think if
there's a
every
lot
Dutch,
to
every Dutch would use the tea with will make tea with the infusers instead of the tea filter, we will have per person 300 tea bags less. And multiply by millions of people. We're talking about millions of filters. So that's just a little different. If we start not using this kind of tea, but the tea that is sold in the paper bags, for example, you reduce by every single one of us 300 of these less.
Yeah.
And we are not considering the plastic that is used to wrap those boxes.
To import it from,
when we go to supermarkets, of course, all these boxes are wrapped in plastic because they have to preserve the integrity of the product. But we don't think that this plastic, and we throw away
we throw it away.
in the waste.
We never see it.
And again, multiply by millions of people or billions of people in the world.
Yeah.
And you understand how easy it is to reduce by tons the amount of plastic.
That's
and that's
good,
just we're talking about the plastic, but also making a better use of the rest of the tea. Most of us just throw away the tea, but we can use that as a compost. We can use that for the plants. We can mix with the soil. Many plants like rhododendron, hortensia,
they
just
love it.
to name the most popular in the Netherlands,
Ferns,
they love this kind of compost soil.
Okay. As long as you have like a natural tea, not with all these
of course.
weird artificial flavors,
course,
but that's not really tea, is it?
No, we are talking about the original
Real
tea,
tea,
the Camellia sinensis, yes.
Well, I think there's a lot of, like there's an easy win there, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we just have to start making the change, just starting about thinking when we go to supermarkets or when we decide to buy any product, just think, okay, and multiply.
Yeah, and
by
maybe
a month,
share a tea bag.
Of course, that's also a super good
already
idea.
helps.
If you cannot do without, then you remember one bag can be
4 cups.
good for, 3 or 4
cups
cups easily.
Yeah.
And we can
Well,
have a
thank
nice
you very
one.
much for your insight.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
Nice.
Again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you're actually a coffee drinker, right?
No, I am a tea drinker. Oh, since 30 years. Oof. Yeah, I started when I was, I think, 14 or 15. And then I developed really, really deep taste for tea. I love tea, I really love